Over time, this environment supported humans as well. Little is known about the first people to live in these mountains, but around 1,000 years ago, the Cherokee people began weaving their culture into the land. Nature sustained their bodies and inspired their souls. They were part of all that surrounded them. Then, in 1838, that connection was tragically broken. The U.S. government marched most of the Cherokees west to what later became Oklahoma. Thousands died on the journey known as the Trail of Tears. Today, their presence remains in park names like Cataloochee and Econolofty. Their culture lives on in descendants of those who escaped the Trail of Tears and reclaimed some of their old homeland. By the early 1800s, the Smokies became a destination for new Americans who established farms and homes. Their lives and culture were shaped by the bounty of the land. Vibrant communities grew. A school at Little Greenbrier. The primitive Baptist church in Cades Cove. The Mingus Mill. Orchards in Cataloochee. And homes like this, where Lucinda Ogle was raised.
We didn't know any other life. We're the happiest people on earth. I didn't know have all the troubles and the worries and the what you call it I have nowadays.
But that happiness didn't last. In the early 1900s, a growing nation hungered for the pristine forests of the Smokies. Trees that stood for centuries were destroyed in minutes. The rich topsoil in place for eons cascaded off hillsides, robbing the forest of the very building blocks of life. Writer Horace Kephart loved these mountains and defended them passionately.
When I first came to the Smokies, the whole region was one of superb forest primeval. I lived for several years in the heart of it. Not long ago, I went to that same place again. It was wrecked, ruined, desecrated, turned into 1,000 rubbish heaps, utterly vile and mean.
The devastation alarmed a group of citizens who proposed a national park to save the forest. It took decades to win popular support and purchase the land. Money was raised from the states of Tennessee and North Carolina, the federal government, citizens, even local school children. A $5 million gift came from the Rockefeller family. Timber companies and local citizens sold their lands, sometimes grudgingly, to allow creation of the park. It was difficult for the families to leave.
That was terrible. That just like death hit the whole country up into here. Now, we thank God every day, I do. Thank you, God, for bringing the park so we could have it protected till I can hear that sound again, that sweet, soft singing of the birds.
The park is the keeper of stories, of a pioneering spirit, of children taken too young, of war, of family, of harsh winters and spring floods, of community,
บ่นได้ใช่ปะ
of faith and love.
บ่นเมื่อกี้
Homecomings each summer keep
ใช่ไหม
these
บ่น
stories
ไม่
alive.
ใช่ไม่ใช่
The mountain culture lives in songs and faces. Old stories are passed down to a new generation.
อยู่ด้านโพสต์โค้ดอ๋อ
Partly because of family sacrifice, more than 500,000 acres were preserved as Great Smoky Mountains National Park, dedicated in 1940 by President Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Next stop for the executive party is Great Smoky
ค
National
ลาสสิก
Park.
มากเลย
Those who fought for the creation of the park have handed down a never-ending legacy of caring for this land. It's a responsibility now in the hands of all who are touched by its gifts of peace, beauty, and recreation. The park is the largest federally protected mountain ecosystem left in the eastern United States. A fragile environment in need of care and constant protection. The park may be a sanctuary, but it isn't an island. Its natural treasures are threatened by sprawling human development and non-native pests and diseases. Black bears have lost 80% of their historic range in the southeastern United States. The park offers them sanctuary with the large territories they require. Bears need their space. If they become habituated to people and their food, they have to be removed or killed. Keeping a safe distance and keeping food out of reach will ensure the survival of this symbol of the Smokies. The Smokies were named for their natural blue mist. Today, air pollution from vehicles and smokestacks hundreds of miles away muddies the skies, reducing visibility by 60% or more at times. Ozone damages plants, and acid rain alters streams and soils, impacting aquatic life. Skeletons of Fraser fir trees haunt Clingman's Dome. The species is found only in the southern Appalachians. Now, it's under attack from a non-native insect, the balsam woolly adelgid. Despite the threats, the life force of these mountains beats strong. To protect the wild treasures of the Smokies, scientists from the Park Service and universities are continually working to understand the complexities of nature in an environment that is home to as many as 100,000 different life forms. Every year, they discover fascinating creatures that no one knew existed.